Mrs. Packletide's Tiger by Saki. Summary. Mrs. Packletide's Tiger by Saki, H. Munro, is a satirical short story that highlights human vanity, competitiveness, and the desire for social status. The story revolves around Mrs. Packletide, a wealthy woman who plans to shoot a tiger in order to outshine her rival, Luna Bimberton, and gain fame. She hires villagers to help her with the hunt, ensuring that the tiger is old and weak, and stages the event to ensure her success. However, in a twist of irony, Mrs. Packletide accidentally kills the tiger's goat instead of the tiger but still takes credit for the kill. The story critiques the superficiality of society and the absurd lengths to which people will go to maintain their social standing. The humorous tone and ironic conclusion underline Saki's characteristic style of mocking societal norms and human pretensions. About the author. Saki, the pen name of Hector Hugh Munro, 1870 to 1916, was a British writer best known for his witty, mischievous, and satirical short stories. Born in Burma, now Myanmar, where his father was a colonial officer, Saki was raised in England by his strict aunts, an experience that later influenced much of his work. His stories often feature dark humor, unexpected twists, and a biting critique of Edwardian society and its conventions. Some of his most famous works include The Open Window and The Lumber Room. Saki's sharp wit and mastery of irony have made him a timeless figure in English literature. He tragically died during World War I. Question 1. Read the extracts and answer the questions. Extract 1. Evidently, the wrong animal had accelerated by senile decay. Question 1. Who was involved in the hunt? Answer. Mrs. Packletide and Louisa were involved in the hunt. Question 2. Which animals are being referred to and what happened to them? Answer. The aged tiger and the goat are referred to here. Mrs. Packletide aimed at the tiger, but the bullet had been hit by the wrong animal, the goat. Also, at the spot the aged tiger was dead because of the loud sound of the shooting rifle and collapsed due to heart failure. Question 3. How did Miss Louisa Mebbin take advantage of the situation? Answer. Louisa Mebbin had seen a weekend cottage near Dorking that she wanted to buy. So, she blackmailed Mrs. Packletide to give her £680 for the cottage. Extract 2. I've seen a weekend cottage near Dorking that I should rather like to buy. Question 1. Who had seen the weekend cottage? Answer. Miss Louisa Mebbin had seen the cottage. Question 2. Why did the speaker say these words? Answer. She said these words because she had the intention of buying this cottage for £680. She was asking for bribe from Mrs. Packletide because she was the only person who was aware of the incident that took place. Question 3. What reason did Mrs. Packletide give for giving up big game shooting? Answer. She said that the incidental expense was so heavy that she had to give £1,000 to the villagers for taking their goat as prey and give £680 to Miss Mebbin for the weekend cottage so that she could keep her secret. Answer the following questions in 3 to 4 sentences. Question A. Why did Mrs. Packletide want to kill a tiger? Answer. Mrs. Packletide's rival Luna Bimberton had traveled 11 miles in an aeroplane with an Algerian aviator. She was jealous of her and thought only a personally procured tiger skin and press photographs could counter such a thing. This is why Mrs. Packletide wanted to kill a tiger. Question B. How was the hunting of the tiger arranged? What kind of a tiger was chosen for this purpose? Answer. A platform was constructed on a tree for Mrs. Packletide and Miss Mebbin to observe and shoot the tiger from. A goat with persistent bleat was kept as bait for the tiger. An old and supposedly ill tiger was chosen so as to make sure that it wouldn't be able to spring up to the platform even if it wanted to. Question C. What observation did Miss Mebbin make after Mrs. Packletide had fixed the shot? Answer. After Mrs. Packletide had fired the shot, Miss Mebbin drew attention to the fact that it was the goat that was in its death throes from the impact of the mortal bullet, whereas there was no trace of the bullet's impact on the tiger, thus concluding that the wrong animal had been shot. Answer the following questions briefly. Question A. How did the villagers help Mrs. Packletide shoot the tiger? Answer. Mrs. Packletide had offered a huge amount of 1,000 rupees in order to have the villagers help her shoot the tiger. Children from the village were posted day and night on the outskirts of the forest to head back the tiger in case it attempts to go away from the forest. Cheap goats were left around to ensure that the tiger is satisfied with food. Everyone made sure that the tiger did not die of old age before he was shot by Mrs. Packletide. People crossing the jungle made efforts not to disturb the tiger. This is how the villagers helped Mrs. Packletide shoot the tiger. Question B. Why do you think Miss Mebbin named her cottage Les Fauves and planted tiger lilies in the garden? Answer. Miss Mebbin blackmails Mrs. Packletide by threatening her of revealing the secret of their shooting. She asked for £680 in return for keeping the secret safe. Miss Mebbin buys a weekend cottage with the money she receives from Mrs. Packletide and names it Les Fauves, meaning the animals, and plants tiger lilies in an attempt to tease Mrs. Packletide and remind her of their big game shooting, as well as a reminder of how she acquired the cottage. Question C. How does Saki expose human greed and vanity in the story Mrs. Packletide's Tiger? Answer. Saki exposes human greed and vanity through this story. Mrs. Packletide indulges in the shooting just because she is jealous of Luna Bimberton's achievement. She is greedy for fame and wants to beat her rival. Eventually, she succeeds in making people believe that she has shot a tiger. Her vanity is also seen through the fact that she gifts a tiger brooch to Luna Bimberton in an attempt to show off her achievement. However, at the end, because of her greed and vanity, she suffers extreme loss as she is trapped by Miss Mebbin. The author expresses that greed is never good for a person. This is how Saki exposes greed and vanity in this story.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates.